medical bills is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're hitting a new year, and you should, at the same time, come in with a new attitude, a new philosophy that you're going to make money when the stock market goes down. That's right. This is the third bubble, and you don't think it's going to crash? The first bubble did. The dot-com, the second bubble, the housing and financial con. Why do you think the third bubble, which is twice as big as the two previous bubbles, is any different? It's not different. Matter of fact, it's worse. It's going to go down faster. The stock market is going to go down 50%. You're going to lose 50% of the money you have in the stock market. You're going to lose 45% of the equity you have in your home. You're going to lose 30% of the money you have in your savings. Yes, you are. Trust me. Join my gang, Phil's gang, so that we can show you how to benefit, how to profit. But you can't just sit there and own a stock. You got to learn how to short the market. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, many people left the stock market after the crash, and here's why.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's still going on. That's your planner. They don't represent you. They represent themselves, your money manager. But you have to make a change. You can't change them. You make the change. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating the 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. You know, everybody, the hot stocks Apple or Google, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What people don't understand is every stock is the same. If the institutions buy it, it goes up. If they don't, it goes down. It doesn't matter the name. That's why we use charts to identify money in, money out. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grande. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grande has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, sitting through the State of the Union speech ranks somewhere between a colonoscopy and a root canal, especially when you have to listen to this.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
He's the fiction. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Subscribe today. philsgang.com, where you get the truth.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
We will raise taxes. Yes, we will. But also let us be clear, Chris, because there's a little bit of disingenuity out there. We may raise taxes, but we are also going to eliminate private health insurance premiums for individuals and for businesses.
Boys, you talk about just, hey, he knows how to play the crowd, doesn't he? He knows exactly what people want. He knows exactly what they want. That's why Clinton can't win. He is so good, keeps the message simple. Hey, we're here not to give a hand up. We're here to give a hand out. And he's making that so simple. But here's the problem. And by the way, welcome to Phil's Gang. It just drives me crazy. The next president's got some real problems. And I don't think he gets it. I don't think he really gets it. Even Trump, as this national debt hits $19 trillion, and we're taking money from all these other programs, which is causing our jobs to shrink. We can't fix our roads. We can't fix our bridges. We got Sanders telling you he's going to give you a free college, he's going to give you free everything, and he's going to cut and he's going to raise taxes. Are you kidding? The economy right now, as Trump said, is going to be one of the toughest assignments he would face as president if he wins in November 8th. He says there's going to be a bubble that's going to pop. He said, I hope they pop this bubble before I become president, because I don't want to inherit all this stuff. I'd rather it be the day the bubble pops, the day before I get into office, rather than the day after. He said, I hate to be in there and the bubble just pops. I wouldn't want that. It's not going to be pleasant. See, the new president, whether it's Trump or Sanders, they're going to have to face the disconnect from the average middle-class American. That's right. There's a big disconnect from Washington and the average middle-class American. Washington doesn't even know who the middle-class American is anymore. Now, under Bush and under Obama, 27 middle-class Americans became unemployed. 27 million became unemployed and underemployed. Which, if you add everybody up, and all the different presidents, we have 100 million people unemployed. 100 million. So the new president, He's got some real problems to deal with. It's not going to be that easy. He'll have to deal with 10 million homes that are still having negative equity. 10 million homes in 2016 still have negative equity. He's got to deal with that. And remember, the biggest problem is because Bush told homeowners to pull out their equity, $850 billion, and go shopping. It was the American thing to do. We still are dealing with people who have all these homes underwater. That's a big deal. By the way, when you keep hearing how we have this housing boom going on in 2015, 2016, do not believe it. Do not believe it. We don't have a housing boom going on. We just don't. What is going on is that we have home prices. Yeah, they're gaining steam. But But it's not like it used to be in 2001 to 2006. The home prices are going up because it's fueled by what? A tight supply, but a different kind of tight supply back in 2001 to 2006. We had so many end users. There was so much demand for housing because, if you could breathe, you could buy a house. That's not what's going on now. That's not where the demand is coming from. It's not coming from the retail guy. It's not coming from the first-time home buyer, which is 45% of all home sales. He's gone. He can't compete. The guy, the first-time home buyer, if he can get out there and find a house, he always gets outbid by the doctor or somebody who's buying the house to rent it. They can't even get their bid out. It's gone. Some cash buyer. But home prices are up 7%, but not for the good reasons. Not for good reasons. Was retail customers went out and took all that supply off the market. This time, not just Blackstone, Evergreen, you have about 4 big hedge funds that took all the supply off the market. So when you hear how this housing market's exploding again, they're not explaining to you. It's not the truth. It's not what's going on. It's not what's going on. So we still have a problem with housing. Everybody's renting. Now, here's the other thing. The reason why it seems like single-family housing is going up is because construction. There's very little construction going on. Why? Because there's massive construction in multifamily. Because we have so many lousy jobs. We have so many lousy jobs that all the big guys like Hovanian and Toll Brothers, they're building apartment houses. So between the 200,000 houses that were bought by Blackstone. By the way, do you remember I predicted? I said, you watch what happens. I said, Blackstone, their model's not going to work. They've never been a landlord. They've never been a landlord. Well, I was right. I said, they're going to start dumping these houses. Well, guess what? They're dumping most of their houses they have in Atlanta. Just starting to dump the houses they have in Atlanta. They don't want to be a landlord anymore. They're dumping all their single-family homes. You know what that's going to do? That's going to depress the prices of housing now in Atlanta. I told you this was coming. I told you their model is not going to work because most of the people live in the home. They don't keep the houses up. They don't cut the lawn. They don't maintain them. When you don't own these things, who cares about them? And now they're finding that to go in and fix and the repairs and the maintenance are terrible. It's costing them a fortune. So they're dumping the houses. So soon all these houses will be on the market. That's going to depress the prices. But do not think that we have this housing boom like we had in 2001 to 2006. That is not the case at all. It's not happening. It's not happening. Matter of fact, you're going to see what's going to happen. This housing market is going to collapse with the stock market. And remember, when you look at when they keep talking about how the prices here in Sarasota, for example, it's booming here with $1 million homes on the water and condos, $1 million condos. You can't find one. They're gone in 2 days. That's amazing what's going on because there's huge money that comes from Europe to come in here. It's amazing the amount of cash buyers that come to Sarasota. They used to go to Miami. Now they come to the Europeans and people from Latin America. They all come in. They used to go to Miami. Now they're coming over our coast, and it's all cash buyers, and they're buying condos, 2-3 condos, $1 million each. It's amazing what's going on. Amazing. So the construction of single-family homes is still much lower than it was. We have a base in oil. Everything's fine again. Forgot what happened last. No, that's not what's going on. The market's still going to collapse. That's not what's going on. All that happened was last Friday, Draghi said he's going to do more QE. We'll talk about that when we get. Hey, It's 14 past the hour here on 15 past the hour here on Phil's Gang. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Generally agree that monetary policy was not the main reason for the housing bubble.
What are you, nuts? Of course, monetary policy was the reason for the housing bubble. That's Ben Bernanke. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. He's lying. Listen to this. In December 2000, interest rates were 6.5%. Within the next 30 months, Bernanke dropped them down to 1%. Because of that, mortgage originations grew from 1.5 trillion to 5 trillion. That was by the end of 2003. The housing bubble was inflated, and it was continued being fueled by his policies, which eventually we saw mortgages that grew from 28 trillion mortgage to 50 trillion. He lied. But here's the important thing. We were able to take advantage of that here at Phil's Gang, and we were able to make money because of it. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
Gold's not money? You got to be kidding. That's Ron Paul asking Ben Bernanke. And of course, Ben Bernanke lied. Of course, gold is money. But here's what he doesn't want you to know. They've been suppressing gold, trying to push gold down because it competes with the dollar. The Federal Reserve doesn't sell gold. They sell dollars. Gold competes. Gold will dictate in a free market where interest rates should be. That's the last thing they want because they manipulate interest rates. Now, has your broker told you that? Has your planner told you that? No. Well, I told my gang that. I explained it to them, and we positioned ourselves to be in a perfect position for gold and copper as it dropped. That's why you want to join my gang, Phil's Gang. We're right on top of this. philsgang.com. Join today. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us the housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery? When it's not. It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, every day we read in the paper or we hear on radio or TV how the market is rigged. So what? It's rigged to go up, not to go down. You know this market hasn't pulled back 10%, not 10% since 2011, and you're not in this market. You want the market to be rigged. All you got to know is when to get out before it blows up. That's why you become a gang member, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
We front-loaded at the Federal Reserve an enormous rally in order to accomplish a wealth effect. I wouldn't be surprised at what's happening. I wouldn't blame it on China. We're always looking for excuses.
That's right. Don't blame it on China. Hi, I'm Phil Grande of Phil's Gang, and that's Fisher. And Fisher was a member of the Federal Reserve Board, one of the 11 members. Now he's admitting that this entire stock market rally has been rigged to the upside. It's been front-loaded. How they front-loaded? Using the Federal Reserve to print money, to borrow money, so they could give people money at 0% interest. Who? Wall Street, not Main Street people. Now that we understand that this has been a bubble, I told you it's been a bubble, now's the time to get ready to catch the next crash. This will be the third crash. Get ready now, join my gang, Phil's Gang, and learn how to short stocks. You can't do that with your 401k. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend, and Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, Sanders talks about minimum wage all the time. Here, listen to this.
The federal minimum wage today pays only a little over $15,000 a year. You cannot live on $15,000 a year. You can't bring up a family on $15,000 a year. You can't pay rent. You can't deal with health care. You can't deal with child care if you're earning a starvation minimum wage of $7.25. The argument
of course, but who is getting the minimum wage? That's what he doesn't talk about. There's 1.3 million that earn minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. 1.3 million. We have a workforce of 157 million. 1.3 million of the 157 million are on minimum wage. Are you kidding me? Only 2% of 1.3 million are married. Most of the 1.3 million are ages 16 to 19. 25 years of age and older. You know how many people work minimum wage? 25 years of age and over. 30,000. Look, minimum wage is a starting point. It's an entry level. And you know who most of Sanders' people, the crowds that gather for him, are all young. They're all young people. They'll never show up to vote, but they're young. This is what he's gathering. But going back to the market, you know, today the market's up 231 points. And they're going to tell us that the market's going up because of great things, I guess. But the truth is, the market's going up because it's a short covering rally. It's that simple. That's why the market's going up. Because last Friday, when you take the European Central Bank, the head of the bank, Draghi, he comes out and says, we're going to do more QE. Are you kidding me? Doesn't work here in the U.S., doesn't work in Europe, but he's going to do more. Everybody started to cover their short positions here in the United States. That's why we had the rally on Friday. That's why we're having the rally today. Because everybody thinks now, as I said earlier, when she reports tomorrow, when Aunt B comes out, she's going to say, oh, by the way, you know, I'm going to hold off on any more rate hikes. I'm going to push them down the road. And everybody's going to get excited. We're going to rally again. But here's what nobody's thinking about. Nobody's talking about the earnings. The earnings are horrible. Nobody cares about the earnings. Nobody's talking about them. Isn't that amazing? The last quarter, 2015, we're getting the reports right now. The last quarter of the year, 2015, you always get in the first quarter of 2016. Right now, we're getting it. Boy, they suck. Earnings have declined by 6%. Do you know how bad that is? But nobody's talking about it. But the market's going up. Because, Draghi, Europe, their central bank is going to do more quantitative easing. So the market's going up, started to rally since last Friday, based on quantitative easing. How stupid is that? When the first quarter earnings coming in right now, about 100 companies already reported, and the earnings are declining by 6%. That's the first time the stock market has seen 3 consecutive quarters of year-over-year declines in earnings. Since the first quarter of 2009 through the third quarter of 2009. Let me repeat that. It's the first time the stock market has ever seen 3 consecutive quarters year-over-year declines in earnings since the first quarter of 2009 through the third quarter of 2009. But nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention to it. All they're going to wait for tomorrow is Aunt B to say, the interest rate hike, we just did the one, but we're going to push the other one down there. We're going to put it off. We may put it off to the end of the year, 2016 or further. It's going to be all data dependent. And she's going to start with that data dependent. Isn't that ridiculous? So what do you do to make money? That's why you got to stay away from fundamentals. So I believe they're going to try to talk the market up. The S&P, they're going to try to talk the market right up to about, we'll call it around 2027, 2050 on the S&P. Or if you use the chart SPY, they're going to try to push it up to, let's say around 201 to 205. It's all going to be based on this quantitative easing get in Europe. Then isn't that ridiculous? But nothing on earnings. So that's why you need to understand charting. So when we do get the rally, my gang members, our 5 stocks, we're going to do beautifully. As we caught this market going down, we're now going to catch it going back up. Now, can it sustain itself? Of course not. It's going to go back down. It's going to test its lows, and the market is going to go down. We're going to have a market going down this year. We're going to drop at least 10 or 20% from where we are right now. But this is an opportunity to make money. See, this is called volatility, and this is what you want, volatility in a market. Now, the banks are taking a beating. So what they got to do is drive the banks up. So in other words, to drive the S&P from 189 to 201, let's just use that, 189 to 201, they got to rally the banks. So what you do is go look at your banks, take like Goldman Sachs, that's one of our banks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start buying that bank as soon as you get a strong buy signal on our chart. That's the beautiful thing. We have these 5 banks. We have these 5 stocks. One's a bank. We think which is the best bank. So we're not going to miss out. We're going to get a nice rally in these banks. Then we're going to get a nice rally on Caterpillar. You watch with Caterpillar. They're going to come in and they're going to rally Caterpillar. Then they're going to rally Schlumberger. And we're already ahead of it. We're all ready for these rallies. Schlumberger right now, you watch. They're going to start turning around and they're going to start trying to artificially push the oil prices up. They're going to talk the oil prices up. So Schlumberger will probably go, I would say Schlumberger would probably go from where it is now, around $65, they'll try to push it up to around $75. Now that's a nice little run. So if you're a gang member, we'll be in position to take advantage of this. So even from $65 to, let's say to 77, that's probably that's probably about maybe an 8%, 18%. So we got an opportunity to pick up an 18% return on Schlumberger, 18%. Now remember what we've made already on Schlumberger. We shorted Schlumberger from about $76 down to about $60. So we already had a 21% drop in Schlumberger. So my gang members had an opportunity to gain most of that 21%. Now we'll get it on the way back up. Join my gang, Phil's gang, 877-600-GANG. We'll be right back, 28 past the hour.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating the 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Generally agree that monetary policy was not the main reason for the housing bubble.
What are you, nuts? Of course monetary policy was the reason for the housing bubble. That's Ben Bernanke. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. He's lying. Listen to this. In December 2000, interest rates were 6.5%. Within the next 30 months, Bernanke dropped them down to 1%. Because of that, mortgage originations grew from 1.5 trillion to 5 trillion. That was by the end of 2003. The housing bubble was inflated, and it was continued being fueled by his policies. which eventually we saw mortgages that grew from 28 trillion mortgages to 50 trillion. He lied. But here's the important thing. We were able to take advantage of that here at Phil's Gang, and we were able to make money because of it. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us that housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery? When it's not. It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
Gold's not money? You got to be kidding. That's Ron Paul asking Ben Bernanke. And of course, Ben Bernanke lied. Of course, gold is money. But here's what he doesn't want you to know. They've been suppressing gold, trying to push gold down because it competes with the dollar. The Federal Reserve doesn't sell gold. They sell dollars. Gold competes. Gold will dictate in a free market where interest rates should be. That's the last thing they want because they manipulate interest rates. Now, has your broker told you that? Has your planner told you that? No. Well, I told my gang that. I explained it to them, and we positioned ourselves to be in a perfect position for gold and copper as it dropped. That's why you want to join my gang, Phil's Gang. We're right on top of this. philsgang.com. Join today. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, it used to be, hey, what's that hot stock? There's no hot stocks anymore. You know what it's all about now? It's identifying when to get in the market, when to get out. And why? Because the market is rigged. It's rigged to go up. There's nothing better. It's rigged to go up. It's called quantitative easing. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Have fun with us in a rigged market.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend. And Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
I've been living on probably less than that for a long time because of disabilities. And it's so hard to do anything to pay your bills. You're ashamed all the time. And I could completely understand how she feels. And when you can't buy presents for your children, it's really, really, really hard. And I worked 3, 4, 5 jobs sometimes, always minimum wage. I have a degree, divorced, and it's just, I'm waiting for disability to come through so my parents have to support me. It's just hard.
It is not easy for people to stand up and say that. But the truth is that until millions of people who are experiencing exactly what you guys are experiencing do say that, we don't make change.
Mm-hmm. And welcome back. Welcome back to Phil's Gang. All right. That kind of took me back. I was listening to that. That's really sad. And it really is. That's sad. But here's what we got to think about. Sanders wants to give her programs, more handouts, free college, free this, free that. That's the last thing you want to give people. They're not going to make $25, $35, $45 an hour with handouts. We got to, first of all, stop our jobs from going overseas, number one. That's what's got to happen. And we also got to, remember, we got to start taking people off disability. Get them to work. We got to create a workforce. I mean, people on disability, there's twice the amount of people on disability. We're paying people right now, disability, which is the same thing as paying them not to work for the rest of their lives. Now, I'm not saying this woman's a worker. She wants to work. But what she needs is an opportunity to make $35 an hour. That's what she needs. But we're not getting these $35 an hour jobs with the monetary policies that our Congress, our president, have put in place. That's why she's there crying. That's her problem. She's being held back because this president, this Congress, the policies they have in place, they're unfriendly policies towards small businesses. See, the solution to her problem is not bumping minimum wage. The solution to her problem is our Congress, our president, create an environment for small businesses to succeed. Don't put on 86,000 new pages of regulations like they did. Don't increase taxes on small business like they did. Get rid of those taxes, get rid of those regulations, create an environment for entrepreneurs and small businesses to succeed. We have more small businesses closing than opening. We never had that in this country. Then she'll have a good job. The jobs are the engine behind good jobs is small business, not GM, not Ford, small businesses in your community. This president, this Congress, with their policies, have cut the throat of all the small banks, the community banks. The community banks either had to close or they have to go with one of the big banks. The community banks are the ones that gave money to small businesses in your community so they could hire 15, 20 people and pay a good, decent wage. That's what she needs. But see, this administration doesn't want small businesses creating jobs. This administration wants jobs created by a government for taxpayers to pay, and health care services and all these kind of jobs. See, the idea to raise minimum wage does not help her. This is crazy. Let's take a look at McDonald's talking about minimum wage. And by the way, remember, there's only 1.3 million people who earned minimum wage of $7.25. 1.3 million. It's crazy, isn't it? All right. Now let's go take a look at McDonald's. This is who pays minimum wage. Okay. Now, this stock, they just had their earnings, and the stock price shot up. The stock price went from $117.83, and it shot up to around $122. And I hear CNBC telling everybody, jump in the stock. No, there's no buy signal on this stock, McDonald's. You don't jump into the stock. Not now. The time to have bought this stock was when it was $97. We had a strong buy signal when it was at $97 back in September. That's when you should have bought. Now it's and now you should be selling into it when we have a sell signal. You just don't buy a stock because somebody comes on CNBC and says, look, the stock price went up. We just had their earnings. Look at this. Their price is up. They beat the street by 3 cents. Go buy it. Look at this. Stock's up. No. Just because the stock up doesn't mean they have quality earnings. In fact, if you look, they reported, and the stock is now down from where it reported yesterday. It's sold off. Just because the price of a stock goes up doesn't mean it's good. go in and buy it. You got to know what quality it is. But that means you have to go do research. You haven't got time to go do research. You don't have time to do fundamentals on a stock. So McDonald's, if you were with me, if you were a gang member, the strong buy signal we had, as I said, was back in September. September. That's when you buy the stock. Now you should be looking to take profits. But everybody on CNBC is telling you to buy the stock. Matter of fact, if you go back and you look, it was on 9-9. We had a strong buy signal on McDonald's, a perfect strong buy signal. That's what you look for when your institutions are buying. We don't have that now. Don't have that now. That's McDonald's. Now let's go to the other side. Let's go to Apple. Let's go to Apple. Okay, and listen to this. This is interesting.
Well, the Apple ecosystem, I think there's a lot of derivative plays here. First off, I think the Apple bar is set so low that they're going to clear it. So you're going to get some upside surprises in suppliers like Qorvo, even Qualcomm, which, by the way, also reports after the close tomorrow. I'm very interested in that.
Qorvo's one that you added to your portfolio here, right? Just yesterday.
Just yesterday. And specifically because I think the bar is set so low in Apple that it's easy for them to clear, and Qorvo will be a coiled spring when that happens.
So someone's going to buy Apple today. You don't buy Apple today. Why would you buy Apple today? There's no buy signal on Apple on my chart. As a matter of fact, we've been short Apple. We've had a sell signal on Apple. We had a sell signal which started in December 11th at $115, $115. It dropped all the way down to $94, $115 down to $94. That's an 18% return. Okay, now I'm not saying my gang members grab the whole 18%. Some get in later, some get in earlier. The idea is to identify for my gang where the opportunity is to sell short or where to buy. So if my gang member, if this is one of their 5 stocks, this is a stock that we put out as one of our bonus stocks. So it's an 18% return. What if it was only a 10% return? Wouldn't that be okay, a 10% return? But it's not time to buy it now. It's not time to buy it. We'll know when it's time to buy it. Don't listen to them. Because, see, you only buy a stock when there is action on that stock, when the institutions go buy that stock. Doesn't that make sense? See, what makes stocks go up and down is very simple. It goes up if they buy, it goes down if they don't. Forget all this fancy stuff they're talking about, ecosystem. Who cares about that? Join my gang right now. Subscribe to my gang. 877-600-GANG right now.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're hitting a new year, and who? Wall Street, not Main Street people. Now that we understand that this has been a bubble, I told you it's been a bubble, now's the time to get ready to catch the next crash. This will be the 3rd crash. Get ready now. Join my gang, Phil's Gang, and learn how to short stocks. You can't do that with your 401k. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, many people left the stock market after the crash, and here's why.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's still going on. That's your planner. They don't represent you. They represent themselves, your money manager. But you have to make a change. You can't change them. You make the change. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything will be taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend. And Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Remember, St. Jude, if you join the gang and if you're doing well, all we ask you, donate a little bit of money to St. Jude. That's all. Just a little bit of money. Remember, 81 cents of every dollar you donate goes right to research and treatment. We need 1.7 million every day to open the doors. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you're making money at Phil's Gang. Once I can convince you to stay with the same 5 stocks, Goldman Sachs, Intel, IBM, Caterpillar, and Schlumberger, if you stay with those same 5, you follow me every day, those same 5, and when you use my buy signals, you use my sell signals. And here's the key, the sell signals, So when the market goes down, no longer do you sit there and call your broker and say, what do I do? You sit there, push the button that says sell short, so you're making money as the market goes down. That's why people can't make money in the stock market, because you're not allowed to sell short, which is absolutely crazy. It's nuts. They're stealing your money when you're not allowed to sell short. Look at the rally I told my gang to sell short in May, on May 29th. I said the stock market's going to crash. Let's sell short at $212. We had about an 18% return. What's wrong with that? You've got to learn how to sell short. Same thing with Apple. I just gave you Apple. We told our gang to sell short Apple. I remember the date. It was December 11th. From $115, it went down to a low of $93. $115 down to $93. Selling short. Selling short. That's about a 12%. That's about a 19% return. So cut it in half. Don't believe me. Cut it in half. You got in late. That's what we need to do. Let's work together. Let's do it. Let's learn to get the other side of the transaction. Look, there's a lot of work to do in this country. And when Trump, if he takes over, he's successful, or whoever's successful, the new president's got to deal with so much. The income inequality he's got to deal with. That started under Bush and Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton with NAFTA. We lost 5 million American jobs to Mexico. We closed 65,000 manufacturing plants. Now we got the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Another 8 million jobs are going to be gone. The new president will have to deal with food stamps growing 72 times faster than jobs. 37 million people on food stamps. Half of the people don't need them. 12 million people on disability checks. Half the people don't need it. He's got to deal with that. He's got to deal with the increase in income inequality that's caused by Obama, his financially engineered prosperity, which was created through the S&P 500, through the stock market, a phony stock market. The new president's got to deal with that phony stock market. Are you kidding? He's got to deal with CEOs who started work yesterday, 8 o'clock in the morning, talk about home income inequality. CEOs of the S&P 500 companies started work yesterday morning, 8 o'clock. By noon today, they will have made more money than their employees made all year. Are you kidding? Are you nuts? This is crazy. These 1 percentile control 42% of our nation's stock market wealth, and 93% of all financial wealth is controlled by 10% of these guys on Wall Street. 10 percentile. He's got to deal with that. He's got to deal with the massive income inequality created by this monetary policy through quantitative easing that created this fake 200% rally in the stock market. This is crazy. And he's got to deal with the greed of the American capitalism. CEOs of these multinational corporations. He's got to deal with them. Where the savings that they make on forcing jobs going overseas, pushing the labor overseas, these CEOs, sending these high-paying jobs overseas to China, other countries, goes directly into their pocket as bonuses from options. He's got to deal with that. And these same savings from sending all our jobs overseas goes to the corporate profits, goes to the shareholder capital gains, does nothing for the companies, does nothing for the people, does nothing for our living standard. In fact, because of sending these jobs overseas, it's directly responsible for the drop in our living standard. This is crazy. In a recent poll, 13% believe the economy is good or excellent, which is kind of funny because that correlates with the top 10% who controls 93% of the wealth. Because they control most of the wealth. Unbelievable. The new president will have to deal with restoring the Glass-Steagall Act. We got to get that Glass-Steagall Act put back in place. The repeal of Glass-Steagall killed us. It was headed by the 5 largest banks on Wall Street who bribed a Republican senator from Texas named Phil Grande, who was paid 7-figure salary and a bank chairmanship for the rest of his life if he would, a little bit after midnight, Christmas Eve, go in and kill the Glass-Steagall Act. By the way, Graham, he never once showed up to the office. In today's dollars, they refurbished his office, $2.3 million. They remodeled his office, what it cost. He has yet stepped foot in that office. He's never going to work. This crook, Phil Grande, destroyed the separation of commercial banking from investment banking. He caused the 2008 financial meltdown because he repealed the Glass-Steagall Act. But the 5 largest banks who was behind him, who paid him off, became too big to fail. And now they own assets equivalent to 2/3 of the GDP of the United States, $9 trillion GDP. They're so big, they also issue half of the mortgages of this country and 3/4 of all credit cards. The new president's got to deal with this. They're too big to fail. They're too big to jail. This is exactly why Glass-Steagall was put in place, because this is exactly why we had the crash in 1929, and exactly why we had the crash in 2008. And I believe Trump's going to do that. The problem with this guy Sanders, he has some great ideas. Listen what he says about Glass-Steagall when they tried to crush it.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Speaker, I rise in
1999.
strong opposition to this bill. I support financial modernization if modernization means...
So he went after. This was 1990. He tried to stop it. Couldn't stop it. And here he is today.
Do we think it is a good idea for a handful of financial institutions to have that much economic clout? What Wall Street has done is create a business model which says we really don't care about small and medium-sized businesses.
Exactly right. I just wish the guy wasn't a socialist. I just wish he wasn't a communist. He has some great ideas. But Trump knows this. He knows what he's got to fix. Someone's got to fix it. So what do we do in the meantime? We still got to put money away for retirement. And I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody thinks that retirement is not correlated with the stock market, you're crazy. You're never going to create enough wealth to retire unless you're in the stock market. But you got to be in the stock market the right way. You got to join my gang. Try it. If it doesn't work, then stop. Subscribe. Try it. Follow my 5 stocks, especially if you have a busy schedule. You're so busy you don't have time to do anything, have time to learn. Just follow my 5 stocks. Follow when I say we have a buy signal. Follow when I say we have a sell signal. And the sell signal you're going to love. You're going to love the sell signal. For the first time, you're not going to be fearful of getting in the market and it's crashing. For the first time, you're not going to say, oh, the market's rigged. This is terrible. I'm going to stay away from the market. You're going to say, oh, my God, am I glad the market's rigged. Because now I know how to make money when the market goes down. But you got to stop looking at too many stocks. That's the problem. Everybody's looking at hot stocks. You listen to CNBC every day. They got a hot stock. Why you should buy it. How can anybody track 10,000 stocks? I have enough time trying to track 5 for my gang. 5. But we do it successfully. And that's why you should subscribe. And then just give it a chance. Try it for a month. And then you'll say, you know what? It works. You don't just, when a stock starts going up, you just don't stay in it and hope somebody calls you, tells you to get out. That's why you keep losing money. And you never get that call that tells you, hey, not only are we going to get out, but let's short it. Well, that's what you're going to get here at Phil's Gang. You get that support every day. So subscribe to my site right now. Talk to Denise. She's right there. Talk to Steven. They pick up the phone. They're not in the Philippines or somewhere. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. Look, the market is the best place in the world if you know what you're doing. We'll see you on the charts. Join my gang. 877-600-GANG. Subscribe now.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.